So that's that. Now, here's the tricky part, guys. We don't know how they're going to give out this application link. My assumption is through studentaid.gov, but that website shuts down if you look at it too hard. So I don't know how this application is going to be disseminated. Once it does, I know that we're committed to helping people at no charge get it done. Be careful. A lot of scams are starting right now. So I'm literally receiving screenshots in my DM every day. Like, this company said they can help me do the 20K application for only 500. Don't pay that. So just be careful that you're going to be getting some phone calls, some texts. You don't have to pay that, guys, to get some help, but you do want to help others that may not have access to the internet, the computer, or just be not tech savvy, because that is going to be the barrier to receive the money. So that's the gist of what's coming down the pipeline for that. I can go into other updates, but I just wanted to pause there first.
Yeah, and just some people that don't, like, if they don't remember if they have a Pell Grant. So 60% of student loan borrowers are Pell Grant recipients.
Right.
So that could be you. And predominantly, most of the people who have them are people of color. And it's income based. So I think it's like if you made under 35,000, or maybe now it's 50,000 as a household, then you probably qualify for it. So if you're in that, when you went to school, if those were the conditions, then you probably qualify for a Pell Grant. You probably got it.
Yeah. So let's get into other updates. Before I forgot to actually pin this link to EYL University, so I'm just do that real quick. So EYL University, once again, for anybody that just joined, this is something that we do every single week, but we do it once a month on YouTube. It's kind of like an open enrollment, what we call, and it's an open window into what we have going on, which is a curriculum made up of real estate, stocks. Every single week we do trading room with Chris. We do financial planning. We do real estate. We do all kinds of stuff like that. So long story short, we're doing a flash sale. We haven't done this in a few months, but coming off of InvestFest, that's the last time we did it, was before that in the spring. So 48 hours, we're doing 50% off, which is $500 for the entire year, $499 to be exact. And it includes 200 past videos. It includes everything. It's like 1,000 hours worth of content, and it actually includes the Home Buyer's Blueprint. Volume 1 and 2. From MG to Mortgage Guy. That's 32 hours of real estate content. So it's probably the best deal that you ever receive in your life. So, but you have to enter code student. So go to EYLUniversity.com, enter code student, and you get 50% off of your annual membership, 48-hour sale. So, all right, Sonia, my bad. Yeah, can you talk about some other updates? What's going on?
Okay, yes. All right. So we got a couple more important dates. When I tell you, I feel like every day it's a new date to be released. The next important date is that the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Limited Waiver is going to be ending on October 31st. I'm telling you right now, I'm just looking at the Twitter from the Department of Ed. They're not changing that date. Okay. They've been sending it out like every day. And this is the biggest loan forgiveness program in the history of student loan debt. I literally, guys, wake up every day to a DM of somebody saying because they did something or they heard something from us, even from your conference, that was huge. Just massive loan debt forgiven. At your conference, guys, I was just amazed. People were coming up, literally, one lady came up crying, 202,000 forgiven. And she said, I heard of you through EYL, so I'm just really excited to see what's happening. So let's talk about how to make that a reality for someone. So I'm going to break this down and hope no one gets a little lost. So from 2007 to 2022, if you ever, and the key word here, Rashad and Troy, is ever, even if you didn't leave in good standing, even if you never ever paid a student loan payment before, because people, the brain would make you say, well, I didn't. If you ever worked at a qualified employer, we'll talk about that in a second, you are eligible to get credit for that work time. You didn't have to make a payment. You just had to show up on work. Okay, if they said you went to work and somebody can sign and attest to it, you're going to get credit. And so when we think about government, military, education, healthcare that's not for profit, we think about public service, law enforcement, nonprofits, of course, those entities, if you've ever, I can't stress it enough, worked there, you are eligible. Just send the paperwork in. If your employer closed down, maybe didn't leave on good terms, there is an option to do what's called self-certify. So don't worry about that. Like literally there's a box you'll check. The Mahalia/Department of Education will get back to you and say if they need anything further from you, but just fill out the form, okay? So that's number one. Number two, this is really, really big. So guys, I don't know if y'all know this, but the government recently admitted to messing up. Did y'all know about that? The Department of Ed said, we messed up. They put a whole announcement out online. And how they messed up is they entrusted lenders to keep count of every payment that was made towards PSLF or towards an income-driven repayment program. So just imagine this, a breakdown for you guys. So let's say Troy, let's say you ever call and you called your loan lender and you was like, you know what, guys, I can't make this payment. Can I get an extended forbearance? You ever call for forbearance, Troy, ever, like in your life?
I have. Yeah, I have.
Most people have.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you called them, were you relieved that the call was only about 2 or 3 minutes and they said yes?
I was. Well, it was different times.
So there's a term for that. That's technically illegal. That is technically illegal. It's called forbearance steering. So what that means is lenders, every time you called in, they were actually supposed to spend time with you on the phone and ask you about your finances, ask you why you couldn't make a payment, what's happening here, right? And instead they go, okay, sure. And so you're like, woo, I got off again. So that happened for a lot of people for months, years, right? So here's what happens. So the government said because that was illegal, they should have done some proper counseling with you. They're going to give up to 3 years of credit towards student loan payments. So what does this look like? In November, December, there is an exact date. They just said in the late fall of this year, they're going to credit anyone's account that was in forbearance 12 months at a time for up to 3 years. So every 12 months equals 1 year. For up to 3 years, they're going to give a credit towards your account. You don't have to apply for it. You don't have to do anything. They're just going to do an account adjustment. The only caveat, again, is you have to have a direct loan. So if you're enrolled, Rashad, in the public service loan forgiveness program, you have to meet a maximum of 10 years. Well, I don't know what everyone's calculation is that are in the PSLF program, but just imagine, let's say you had 7 years in, right? You got your bad credit from your employers. And this is why people are getting out of student loan debt in 30 days. Then they're going to see 3 years on top of that eligibility. So we're going to see a lot of people already getting their loans cleared through PSLF. And then in November, December, we're going to see a whole nother wave of people getting their loans cleared. To be honest with you, some people are not even going to need the money that Biden's about to give out, because that's how much for loan forgiveness is happening. Okay, so that's the big part right there. We have one more section to cover. Okay, it's a lot happening.
Yeah. That's a lot. So that public service, before you came on, I was speaking about the public service loan, because I remember I told you that when I applied for it, the criteria was so ridiculous that like only 1% of people were qualifying, and that's changed. I even had some coworkers that have actually done it. But you said the part where like I worked in a school, and now the school has changed names 4 times. The principal's no longer there. Can you just tell them what we have to do? You said it's self-certified?
Self-certified. So when you look at the application, on page 1, there's a little box that says click here if you have to self-certify, and it gives some reasons as to why. Now, that's not something you want to do. You only do it if you have to do it, because they're going to ask you for like maybe some tax returns, some other proof that you work there. So that's going to be the long route. We don't really have that much time. Only do it if you know that if that school is closed in this example, then do it. If the school is still open and there's somebody there that could attest to your work history, then go that route.
Got you. Perfect.
Yep.
I'm on it.
Okay. One more update, borrower's defense. So you saw the article come out where the government was bragging about getting about, I think it was like 13 million in student loans forgiven through borrower's defense. 200 schools came out. And this was really, really important for the African-American community. For-profit schools always have targeted our community. And so when we saw that list come out, we're like, okay, game time. University of Phoenix, ITT Tech, DeVry. Remember all those commercials?
ITT Tech.
Those schools.
Legendary.
So look at that list. I pinned the list on my page. If you guys want to post it to your stories, like that list is so crucial. If you see your school, you see your friend's school on there, like you got an obligation to tell people to do the application. Now, the application used to be a paper application, 25 pages long. Nobody was doing it. Now it's online through studentaid.gov. You log in, click borrower's defense, and you just walk through it and you fill out the reasons why you feel you're eligible to get this money refunded. Now, it is a long application. I'm not going to lie. We help with that, but here's the kicker, guys. I don't want to see people, if you see your school and you don't apply, it's extremely weird. They're literally going to take that loan money off of your credit, totally forgive you. Here's the biggest caveat. They're going to give you some money back, like money, like tangible checks. And I didn't believe this until my friend screenshotted me a picture, like with a check from ITT Tech. I said, oh, this is real, because you hear about these things. And so he's going to be getting checked for a little while, because anybody who made payments towards the student loan or the interest of these schools, they're going to get that money back in the mail. So that's really, really exciting. So make sure, how like back in the day, you never really give them your real address. This is the time to go to student aid. .gov and give your real address so you can get your check. So that's what's really, really exciting about what's happening with borrower's defense.